Hollow Knight truly is a beautiful game. The many environments and views that you experience throughout your journeys in Hallownest are very fascinating. Let me prove my point. I know that as soon as I drop down this chute, I will see something amazing. Why is all this water here? A coffin? Let me open this. I guess I should grab this. And hit this corpse with my mind-reading nail. Hollow Knight can be a very difficult game, with it all being the effect of multiple challenges in the game. Stuff like an extremely difficult platforming section, or a coliseum packed with enemies to fight all prove to be challenging, but what I believe to be the hardest part of the game is the pantheons. There are 5 different pantheons in Hollow Knight, having difficulty that increases along with its number and a new final boss that comes with every single one. Each one is a boss rush, Pantheon 1 filled with early game bosses, 2 being mid-game ones, 3 being mid-game yet harder ones, 4 being late-game ones, and 5 being every single boss in Hollow Knight, with some of them even having harder variants. You might now be able to realize why this can be considered difficult. I decided to begin my journey of defeating the elusive Pantheon 5, but I would first have to beat 1 through 4. Pantheon 1 went pretty well, with all the bosses being either really slow or having attack patterns that are incredibly easy to perfect. The only boss that gave me a bit of trouble are the Nailmasters Oro and Motto, as the 2 of them attacking at once can be a bit disorientating. But after playing them for a while, beating them can be as easy as 4, 5, 6. Pantheon 2 was still very easy. These bosses can be a bit tougher than Pantheon 1, but at this stage of the game, you will not have any issue. The final boss, Paintmaster Shio, is actually easier than Oro and Mono because he only has 4 attacks that can be easy to react to, as the paint on his brush will change right before the attack. Pantheon 3 did give me a bit of trouble though. Unlike the past 2, there are multiple non-final bosses that did give me a bit of difficulty. Great Prince Sot barely choreographs his attacks, making it very hard to dodge him. Even now, I'll take damage unexpectedly with his jumps and shockwaves. Another one that gave me a bit of difficulty was Umu. The fact that unlike the main story you have to hit the Umus into Umu to be able to do damage makes the boss a fair bit more difficult. The final boss of this pantheon, being Sly, is also hard. His long nail makes it hard to hit him at certain parts, and this, along with the fact that he can pull off nail arts that do 2 masks of damage out of nowhere, is the reason why he's the strongest of the first 3 final bosses. The Spider-Man phase seemed impossible at first, but once you learn how to move to the side when he does his attack, and the cues of when he is going to do it, make it much easier to get through. And now that I had defeated the first 3, Pantheon 4 would open up, but it was different. Unlike the other Pantheons, this one took me days to do. It wasn't something that I was able to just complete, as the bosses had gotten to a point where losing focus could be your downfall. There are only 2 bosses in this pantheon that I wouldn't consider difficult. With Lostkin's infected balloons, Traitor Lord's massive hitbox, White Defender's dung balls, Failed Champion's fast yet strong mace, Markov's spear barrage, the Watcher Knight's quantity, and Soul Tyrant's soul projectiles, there is a lot to look out for. Once you get to Pure Vessel, you are just getting started. Being an improved version of the final boss on paper says a lot. They are fast, they deal 2 masks of damage, their attacks are difficult to avoid. This boss was on a whole nother level from the rest of the game, with the only boss having a similar level of difficulty being Nightmare King Grim, who we can get into later. This one introduced me to the idea that it might take a few days to practice a boss. I'd be practicing with my friend in a Discord call and then leave because I felt myself losing focus. Eventually I decided to start streaming my attempts at Pantheon 4, which eventually led to the winning one.
Alright, save. Oh, void tendrils. I hate void tendrils. Yes! He sidesteps! No! Oh, void tendrils! Yes! First try on stream. Oh my god. Holy crap.
This was a pretty big victory for me. You might be able to hear in the recording that I was pretty excited to be done with Pantheon 4, but if you were paying attention at the beginning of this video, you might realize that there's still one Pantheon left. One that takes 40 minutes just to get to the part that can actually end your run and will build up stress the entire time. The winning attempt at Pantheon 4 was actually the first attempt I did that day, so I decided to give one try at Pantheon 5 just to see how far I could get. Yeah, I died less than halfway in. I'll explain the hardest parts of Pantheon 5, so you can get a feel for how it can screw you over. There are 3 times where I feel like I have a legitimate chance of dying during the Pantheon, so I'll go over them. The first one is near the beginning, and it's actually what I died to on my first attempt, that being the combo of the Blubbles, which can feel really annoying and hard to dodge, followed by Sisters of Battle, one of the fastest bosses in the game, and one that requires you to be constantly focusing where you can take damage a ton. Now, in order to introduce you to this next challenge that the Pantheon throws at you, I need to introduce you to this horrible demon. His name is Markov, and he's the most stuck-up, disrespectful asshole who just floats around with a shield hovering around him and spears constantly firing at you. But that's not the worst part. Team Cherry thought it would be really funny if they removed the floor when you're in Pantheon 5, just for laughs I guess. The amount of damage that you take while fighting this goblin does not prepare you for what happens after fighting him. That being a duel against the invincible, fearless, sensual, mysterious, enchanting, vigorous, diligent, overwhelming, gorgeous, passionate, terrifying, beautiful, powerful, grey Prince Zote, who bumbles around with no real tails doing massive damage. I hate this pair more than anything else in the game, and to add insult to injury, these are some of the last bosses that you will even fight. But now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the hardest part of Pantheon 5. Yeah, during my attempts to beat Pantheon 5, I started playing on a Hypixel Skyblock co-op. If you're wondering what that is, think RuneScape, but in Minecraft. You know, an MMORPG where you spend almost all your time grinding because you really need to get fletching to level 99. And in Skyblock, grinding looks like this. The problem is now I have to play a bit of Skyblock every day, or I'm afraid that my friend is going to come to my house and force me to mine cobblestone for 4 hours. Okay, I'll actually start talking about the hardest part now. The ending of Pantheon 5 is mostly a repeat of the hard parts of Pantheon 4, including that terrible duo I talked about earlier, but it ends with the 3 most difficult fights in the entire game. Nightmare King Grim is a super fast goth vampire boyfriend who exudes fire throughout the entire battle. Luckily, learning his patterns doesn't take terribly long, and he can be easy to predict and react to once you've got him down. I've already shared my problems with Pure Vessel before, but just keep in mind that I had to practice doing him damageless so I could beat him in the Pantheon when it gets to him. The final boss is the hardest in the game. Pure Vessel is nothing compared to this monster, the ultimate lantern for moths known as Absolute Radiance. Absolute Radiance is tough. She has a lot of different attacks that I don't really want to get into right now, but the fundamentals go down to the 5 phases of the fight. Normal attack phase, normal attacks but with spikes phase, endless sword rain phase, platform phase, climb phase, and the final phase. The end being a climb up to the finale with its endless orbs makes the absurd amount of pressure grow, because remember, if you die, that's 40 minutes wasted. I had multiple attempts trying to get to Absolute Radiance that didn't really go anywhere. My second attempt actually got really far, but I ended up dying to the devilish pair. Oh my god! That is... Oh wait, no! Not Filche! Oh, Great Prince, no. Huh. I haven't fought him yet. I'm just gonna heal up. Why is my game lagging so much? Like... What? How? Did that Zoatling just survive the Distal attack? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to crack some Markov. My third attempt ended with a death to Pure Vessel, which was very heartbreaking. Fuck, I'm playing so badly. Double jump! Double jump! I should have healed, I should have healed. I'm such an idiot. No! Really? My fourth attempt was another death to the evil pair, cementing my hatred for them in a very sturdy wall. Max high jump. Eventually I got to Absolute Radiance, but I forgot to record it. But more importantly, this meant that I could finally practice. But after a ton of practicing and a lot of deaths, I started to win, and I knew it was finally time to give some more attempts at Pantheon 5. The next day, I started streaming and ended up beating Absolute Radiance first try, so I knew that I should give Pantheon 5 a go. Who knows, maybe it would be the last time I would have to do it. Just one more.
My heart is pounding out of my chest. Yes! Oh! Oh my god! I did it! Fuck you. Oh! Oh my god! Oh! 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 Oh god!
Well, I did it.